Here we are. We are live for the 2024 Milky Awards. Hello there, ladies and gents, boys and girls. I am Captain Swiss. I'm joined here by the ghost of the Great Sea of Tokyo. That's your name on Twitter at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
AKA Tom, to long-time friends of the channel. And we have a star-studded Milkies for you this year, folks. We have two figures, I'd say, that are probably in contention for more Milkies than any others, and that's Donald Trump and Bashar al-Assad. I blame Assad's prominence in throwing the tie-break decisions for the finals into Bullet and saying, "Go on, Bullet, you help me decide this." And they decided they were going to try and meme Assad the same way they memed Mike Gapes about 6 years ago.
Well, to be fair, considering the way the voting has apparently turned out, it's kind of better this way because otherwise it'd just be a Donald Trump clean sweep on everything.
At least he's got some competition. That's what we're saying, basically.
Yeah.
I'll say hello to the guys in the chat here as well. We have John Cooper currently cooking dinner. Joey says, "Hey, Swiss, hello there." Lee Hallam, oh, with a fine... oh, my voice had to break at that moment, didn't it? A fine! What a fine badge! What a... One of our new nepotist members of the channel. There's a nice little button below the video, folks. It says join if you want to support your dear captain.
Oh, yeah, channel membership. That's new.
Yeah. You know, I thought, God damn it, it's time to squeeze some money out of the audience. Raid Shadow Legends just keep calling me. It's like my phone actually identifies Raid Shadow Legends as spam now. That's how much they've been in touch, saying, "Please, Swiss, please shill for our video game on your streams." And I've said, no, I will not do that. I'll shill for silly little emojis that you can post in the chat. Look, there's Dill Horse. He knows what he's on about. He's got that Miliband bacon sandwich. Anyway, enough self-promotion here on the channel. It's time for us to start looking at some of our awards. I'll read out one more comment we've got here in the chat. Frank says, "Good evening, Mr. Switzerland. A fine evening indeed. Currently out for dinner right now, but I've given special permission to tune in as I told my family I was nominated for an online award." That is beautiful. Well, you know what, guys? Frank's perseverance there. You are out at a family dinner, but you have been permitted to watch the Milky Awards whilst out and about because your parents will be proud if you win your online award. Lee Hallam says, "Just finished the washing up, so no need for Pokemon tonight." Claire King says, "I hope everyone is dressed for that." I mean, I'm wearing a shirt.
I wonder what he would say in the scenario that he wins. Is it like, I won an online award? Are they going to be like, do we get money for it?
You know, Frank has actually sent me a pre-prepared statement in case he wins for me to read out.
Oh, interesting.
I asked Bullet. I said if any of the people who weren't free to come on the stream wanted to give me a statement to read out in event of them getting a Milky, I've got them up my sleeve. But anyway, enough waiting. Let's crack on. Let me refresh my memory here. Joey says, "Is youngster Joey finally going to be nominated? Been waiting since 2000." So Tom, our first award of the night is Party Leader of the Year, which I think we've had in just about every Milky since we started. After the nomination stage, we had 4, or should I say maybe 5 finalists. We've got Carla Denyer and Adrian Ramsey of the Greens. We've got Lib Dem leader Ed Davey, Labour's Keir Starmer, and Reform's Nigel Farage. Unfortunately, no Tory party leader made it through the nomination stage. Tom,
Oh dear.
Who do you think will win? Who do you think deserves to win?
Who do I think will win? I am kind of torn between Farage and Starmer. In terms of who I would like to win, I'd probably say Starmer, simply because 5 years ago, before the election even happened, Starmer was always seen as a sort of Neil Kinnock type figure, a man who would never be Prime Minister, but would rebuild the Labour Party to get it in place for government in like a decade's time or so because of how badly they were beaten in 2019. Fast forward 5 years later, he's Prime Minister with the biggest majority since Tony Blair in 1997. Whatever you think of Starmer, that is a very impressive achievement, at least in my opinion, from an electoral point of view.
So you're going with Starmer, and do you both think Starmer ought to be the winner, and is that the person you backed as well?
Yeah, it is. It's who I voted for that reason alone, even if I am not a fan of Starmer as Prime Minister.
Okay, well, I will reveal then. Just quickly, Joey has said, how do I get that star in my name? Well, Joey, believe it or not, we are now offering channel memberships here on Captain Swiss for the low price of £1.99, which is the exact same price of anything else that costs £1.99. You could be a channel member. Just click join somewhere under the video. You will get the star on your name and many more beautiful things. And Lee Hallam also adds, now we see how lucky we were that Kinnock never actually won. All right, then. In fourth place, on just over 10% of the votes, is Carla Denyer and Adrian Ramsey of the Greens. Probably little surprise there, to be honest.
Not too surprising, really.
Okay. In third place, on 21% of the votes, is Keir Starmer, Tom. In third place. Yeah. Keir Starmer in third. Not a lot of love for Starmer, the meme farmer. The zombie harmer. Whatever you like. Insert phrase here. Granny harmer. There we are.
Yeah, that's the soul. Yeah.
Okay, so it's down to Ed Davey of the Lib Dems or Nigel Farage of Reform. And I can in fact tell you that there is just 3% in it between them. That's how close this came.
That's a big surprise, to be honest.
So, I'm not going to bother saying who the runner-up is. I'm just going to say who the winner is now. It's either Ed Davey or Nigel Farage. The winner of the 2024 Milky Award for Party Leader of the Year is Ed Davey. Ed Davey of the Liberal Democrats has won Party Leader of the Year. It was a close-fought race there. Nigel Farage just a single vote behind him in the finals. So it was very nearly Farage's year there. But there's obviously enough people out there who enjoyed Ed Davey's antics in the general election. They've seen that the Lib Dems have done fairly well for themselves in terms of seats. And maybe when it came to the voting, there were just enough people that went, I don't really want to vote for Farage. I guess I'll vote for Ed Davey instead.
Yeah, I mean, I can see an argument as to why people would pick Ed Davey, because to be fair to him, he did lead the Liberal Democrats to their best electoral success in 100 years. Because the last time the Liberal Democrats or the Liberal Party had anywhere near the number of seats they do at the moment was the 1920s. So it does make sense why he would get that success. And also, he's probably the least offensive of all the party leaders at the moment, at least in the eyes of the public, because Farage is inherently divisive, massively Marmite figure. Starmer is not at all liked because the last 6 months of his premiership have been not great, to say the least. And nobody knows who the Green Party leaders are. So
no. I mean
can
the
understand the reason.
The Green Party leaders got into the finals on a technicality because I had to combine their names together in order to give them the amount of nominations they needed. But I thought they're co-leaders, so it's fair enough. I'll tell you a fun fact I found out about Ed Davey the other day. His birthday is on Christmas Day.
Yes, this is true. Which really actually sucks, to be honest, because Christmas Day is kind of a bad day to have your birthday, at least in my view, anyway.
Let's tell that to our Lord and Saviour. Yeah, well, no, one of my brother's birthday is 3 days after Christmas, and I definitely think even with that distance, there's still a sense of it kind of being in the shadow of Christmas a little bit. So to have it on Christmas, I don't know. I suppose it makes it for a really good Christmas because you get double the presents. But I like having my birthday as a little point for later in the year to look forward to, you know. Anyway, I'll read a few comments here. So we had Joey said, no way, Ed Davey. Claire King says, Ed Davey. Ed got the best results. And Joey says, Lib Dems best in 100 years, Reform best in history of the party. All right. And I just stuck up on screen there the little pie chart of results there so you guys could see for yourself a moment ago. Tom, we are on to happening of the year. This is one of our first Assad versus Trump categories here.
This is the one I'm most interested in finding out what the result of this is.
Okay, so I'll refresh the audience of what we have. So, happening of the year, our 4 finalists are: we have the Assad regime falls in Syria, the Donald Trump assassination attempt, Donald Trump wins the US election, and the UK general election. Those were the things that received the most nominations to make it into the finals. Now, in your view, Tom, you told me before we went on air, you think the winner of this ought to be Assad regime falls in Syria because it was the most unexpected thing to happen this year.
Yes, as I explained on the backstage of the stream, my reasoning for why the Assad regime falling in Syria should win this, and it's the one I voted for, is basically because it was by far the most unexpected thing to happen this year. With the Trump incident, that was unexpected, so I would agree in that case. But in the case of Trump winning the election, that wasn't really unexpected because the polls and the betting odds all favoured Trump a month before he won. So him winning was kind of the betting and the pollsters being correct more than anything. And as for the general election, well, pretty much everybody knew we were going to have a general election this year. It might have been earlier than expected, but no one thought we would have a general election in like 2025 when it had to be held at the latest. Everyone knew it was going to happen this year at some point. So that's my reasoning for it. It's because the Assad regime falling was such an incredibly unexpected event to the point where nobody, even a month ago from now, thought it would have happened.
So you're basing this very much off of what you think was priced in this year as a thing that could happen or would be, and what completely came as a surprise, and that's what you're basing your pick for happening of the year being then.
Yeah, it's the difference between the possibility of something occurring and something happening that's just a complete unknown that was never expected.
All right then. Well, I will give our results just quickly. Here's a nice little AI generated image of Assad and Trump both coveting a Milky together, which will happen many times in tonight's show. All right then. So, happening of the year 2024. In 4th place, on 10% of the vote, is the UK general election. Fair enough.
Yeah. Like I said, we all expected it to happen this year, so not that much of a happening, in my opinion.
In 3rd place, on 14% of the vote, is the Donald Trump assassination attempt, which means that our winner is either going to be the Assad regime falls in Syria or Donald Trump wins the US election.
Surprised that the Trump incident is 3rd. I thought that would have been 2nd myself.
Oh, you never know the mind of the Captain Swiss voting audience. All right.
Nope.
So, and again, let me see. I will reveal that these two, 1st and 2nd place, Assad regime falls in Syria or Donald Trump wins the US election. There's about 5% between these. So between them, they got over 75% of the vote. So it was pretty big between them. All right. This is the first Milky for either Trump or Assad. On the edge of your seats, folks. The winner of happening of the year 2024 is, on 39% of the vote, Donald Trump wins the US election.
Oh.
Oh, I can hear the disappointment in your voice going, Assad deserved that, Milky. He's had a mixed year. He needed something nice to come at the end of it all.
Well, there's two more chances, at least.
There we are. There we are, Assad. Look, you may have lost your country. There's rumors your wife might be divorcing you, but you could still win a Milky yet. So, not all is lost. All right, then. And I'll just I'll share the results of that on screen for the viewers as well if they'd like to see. So here is our pie chart here. As you can see, we have UK general election, Donald Trump assassination attempt, and then Assad regime falls in Syria, and Donald Trump wins the US election. One vote in it again. One vote in it between both of those. That was close. Jerry says God, Syria, and Bashar. Lee Hallam says Trump winning has the biggest impact. I suppose if you think, I suppose if you think of knock-on consequences of something, probably Trump winning the US election has more. It's going to have more ripples to it than anything else on that list. Maybe that's one other way you can term how you'd pick a happening of the year rather than just something being unexpected.
I'm not so sure about that because I would say that the Assad regime falling is probably one of the biggest geopolitical changes to the Middle East in at least 10 years.
I'm not going to deny that at all. I'm just going to say that having Trump as the leader of the world's most powerful country probably just about nips that, even though I totally get what you're saying about what an effect that's got on the Middle East. But anyway, John Cooper says, wait, was it a tie? It was not a tie. When I showed you the pie chart, it probably looked like a tie. There was one vote in it between them, and that was Trump wins the US election. So congratulations, Donald Trump. There we are. Okay, our next category is Rising Star. I'll refresh your memory of who we had for Rising Star. We had Rupert Lowe, Reform MP, J.D. Vance, US Vice President-elect, Kemi Badenoch, new Conservative Party leader, or Michael Carthew, Lib Dem councillor and stream guest, friend of the channel. Tom, Rising Star, what were your feelings on this one this year of your finalists?
On this one, I voted for J.D. Vance because I think that he has a very good chance of becoming the Republican nominee in 2028, and also, depending, of course, on what state the US and the Democratic Party is in, possible president of the US in 2028. So I ultimately went for him out of all of them. For the others listed there, for the Tory leader, I just don't think she'll be there next election. That's just my opinion anyway. And as for Reform, I still hold the belief that Reform has the same problem that every Farage party has had since UKIP, which is that once the man goes, the party crumbles. And I don't think that Reform will escape that fate. So that's my opinion on it anyway.
Okay, all right. I'll give a rundown of these four quickly just before we do the results as well, in terms of I guess what people's justification or mindset was in nominating them. Rupert Lowe, Reform MP. I'd say he's got quite a presence on social media from what I've gathered. He seems to be sort of one of the more outspoken of the new MPs. Sort of made the biggest name for himself relative to how well known he was before.
I see him almost every single day on my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Almost every single day.
When he was nominated, I recognized the name, and I was like, "Where do I recognize that name from?" And then I was on Twitter the next day, and I went, "Oh yeah, Rupert Lowe on Twitter. I see him all the time." So yeah, JD Vance, self-explanatory, really. He started off the year not even on the ticket, and now he's the vice president-elect of the country. That's a pretty solid rising star, I suppose. Kemi Badenoch, she's Tory party leader. She's risen the ranks to become the highest position within the Tory party. Obviously, it's coming at a little bit of a lull for the Tories right now, being in opposition with not a lot of MPs and Nigel Farage chomping at their heels. But hey ho, she's risen. Although I will add that she is also in the finals for non-entity of the year as well. And Michael Carthew, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from just a humble, regular old Joe appearing on Captain Swiss from time to time, he is indeed a Lib Dem councillor, and appeared on our stream. I want to say for the UK general. No, was it the
He
US
was here for
election?
the US
He
election
was here
because
for
I
the US
remember
election,
talking to
wasn't he?
him for the first hour of it.
And maybe we've got a slight element of nepotism here as well, of certain friends of Carthew going, yeah, go on, we'll give it to Carthew. All right then, so let's do it. I'll read a few more comments real quick, and then we'll do the results. Tom spits on Carthew, says Jerry. Claire King, Kemi will be gone in June. Jerry adds, no one cared about Lowe since the Milky nominations opened. Fad of the month, never mind Rising Star of the Year. Lee Hallam says, it was really interesting that Trump picked a successor as VP rather than a ticket balancer. John Cooper says, we'll join soon, Swiss. Frank says, Mon the Carthew. All right then, so we do not have a fourth place for this one because we have a tie for one of the positions. So in third place for Rising Star of the Year, we have Kemi Badenoch on just over 10% of the vote. So it's not going to be you, Kemi. In joint second place, I'm going to have to say this all in one go now. I'm going to have to do all the results in one go, so because we won't be able to do suspense after this. All right, then. In joint second place, tied on 25% of the votes each, are JD Vance and Rupert Lowe, which means that Michael Carthew is Rising Star of the Year on 39% of the vote. Congratulations, Michael Carthew.
Congratulations, Michael.
Nepotism works, folks. Nepotism works. Speaking of nepotism, hello there, Milky Award finalist John Cooper. Welcome to
Hello, Swiss. I do think one thing to comment on Michael's nomination is that, in regards to the choice, he was either the lesser of two evils or the only decent one on the list.
I suppose that's a point. If you are, for example, a voter who doesn't necessarily want any Milkies to go to any right wingers, and you go, a Reform MP, Trump's vice president, Kemi Badenoch. You know what? The Lib Dems aren't that bad. I suppose you could go to Michael.
That's a pretty impressive.
Congratulations to Michael.
That's a pretty impressive vote share, to be fair. 40% of the vote.
Yeah.
So just to get a bit of a catch up, I know Ed Davey won Party Leader of the Year. Was the one with the then there's also the Happening of the Year, right?
So far, Ed Davey has won Party Leader of the Year. Happening of the Year has been won by Donald Trump winning the US election, with Assad's regime falling in a very close second. And Rising Star of the Year is Michael Carthew, Lib Dem.
Okay. But yeah, I'm finally able to join Swiss. I was just having dinner with my mom and her partner, and they're just going to go downstairs. And they're downstairs currently watching a film called Bridesmaid, but I figured I'd rather join you here for the stream.
Did you tell them that you're nominated for an internet award? Because that's what Frank told his family.
I have not specifically said that, but I said what you were doing up here.
Okie dokie. Right, well, you're just in time then for Non-Entity of the Year 2024. Our finalists for Non-Entity, to refresh you, and I'll read the little the tags that I gave them on the awards form as well. So we have Non-Entity of the Year 2024. We have Conservative Party seat warmer, Kemi Badenoch. Victim of a grand socio-economic conspiracy, Liz Truss. Former MP and TV personality, Jonathan Ashworth. And third largest party by MPs, but second fiddle to reform, it's the Liberal Democrats. So,
I will probably do a bit of commentary on the choices. I find it interesting that Kemi Badenoch is both the rising star and the non-entity of this year.
yeah, it speaks to the situation, doesn't it? That well done, Kemi, you've made it to be leader of the Tory party. However, we don't think that you're having any effect in that position and will soon be forgotten. That seems to be the way of it. Okay. So Kemi Badenoch, Liz Truss, Jonathan Ashworth, and the Liberal Democrats. Those are our finalists for Non-Entity 2024. So in fourth place, on 14% of the vote, is Kemi Badenoch, That means that Kemi Badnock has came 4th out of 4 for both of her categories she was nominated for this year. Poor Kemi Badnock. 3rd place is the Liberal Democrats. Yeah, I wouldn't call the Liberal Democrats non-entity this year. I'd say that they had a pretty good success for themselves at the general election.
I think the reason why they got voted that way was because despite having their best result in 100 years, you almost never hear from them. Like, I can only name a handful of times where any Liberal Democrat politician appeared on TV. Like, it's quite remarkable how little coverage they've actually received, especially considering the fact that the SNP, even at their peak, got 20 seats less than the Lib Dems, but they got far more attention than the Lib Dems ever got.
I feel that they're being. I'll just say quickly. I feel that they're being squeezed out by Farage in a way. That Nigel Farage, his party's got 5 MPs, but the thing is, anytime Farage says anything, it's a news story. Whereas Ed Davey literally had to do a charity Christmas single in order to get a little bit of coverage over Christmas.
Yeah, basically.
I think it's the case of a combination of media bias and also Farage is always being the loudest voice in the room.
In some ways, it might work to Lib Dems' advantage because it allows them to not get any major scandals covered on them, and it allows them to be see it as a safe alternative 3rd option for those who don't want to pick the 2 main.
Oh no, I'm very sorry. I just realised that I hadn't revealed the winner, and I put the results on screen. I completely lost track.
I don't think anyone saw Swiss, as far as I can tell.
Shit. All right, we'll power through. In 4th place, Kemi Badnock. In 3rd place, the Liberal Democrats. In 2nd place is Liz Truss, which means the winner of non-entity of the year 2024 is former Labour MP Jonathan Ashworth and TV personality on 39.3% of the vote.
It seems like all that complaining about losing his seat has just managed to just put everyone saying "Oh, would you please shut up already?"
Now, I think to be honest, he has to be a contender for also biggest loser as well, because he was first elected to Parliament in a by-election when the Labour Party was in opposition, spent his entire time in opposition before then eventually making it to Corbyn's shadow cabinet as health secretary. Then he was really close to Keir Starmer and basically became Labour's campaign strategist. And on the night that Labour finally gets back into government after 14 years of opposition, with a massive majority, he loses his seat. I mean, that is a very bad outcome, no matter how you look at it.
But you know what? At least he closes out this year having won a Milky Award.
In many ways, West Streeting was almost probably could be considered a contender if this 500 more people voted against him.
Hey, West Streeting's one to watch when the next election rolls around. His seat's in trouble, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very close. It was only 500 votes that kept him there.
All right, then. A few more comments real quick. Lee Hallam says, I'm not sure how Liz Truss was there. Surely her big year was 2022. Yeah, but what's she done since? That's why she's non-entered. There is no internal logic to how these people end up where they do. Well,
I guess you could argue that she is a former prime minister that did actually lose her seat, since all the others had buggered off.
Where's Theresa May? Haven't heard from Theresa May in a while. What's happened to her?
She quit Parliament in the last election. She stood down.
I
think what's quite remarkable as well is I think her seat went to the Liberal Democrats as well. Maidenhead did.
Yeah. Lee Hallam said of the Liberal Democrats, they are pointless. I voted for them. Claire King says, Swiss, most of us are drunk. To reassure me after I put the results on the screen by mistake. Frank says, whoop, whoop. All right. Are you ready for another Trump versus Assad category?
Okay.
Ooh,
yeah. Ooh, all right, then. This is international statesman. Okay. Now, this is a very, very close fought race, this one. I will reveal to you now that every single finalist received 20-something share of the vote. It's nearly a 4-way split. It's very close. All right. So your finalists for international statesmen were Lula da Silva, president of Brazil, Emmanuel Macron, president of France, Donald Trump, president-elect of the United States, and beloved leader Bashar al-Assad taking an extended holiday in Russia.
Can I make a bit of a commentary on these nominations, Swiss?
By all means.
I feel like for you've got one option for each of like your typical voter. You've got Lulu for like the left, Emmanuel Macron for the liberal / centrists, Donald Trump for the right, far right, and Assad for the jokey trolls.
You know what? I made that exact observation when I saw this, and when I did a video a week or two ago to like announce who the finalists were for the categories, and I literally did like a little political spectrum, and I had like Lula da Silva, Macron, Trump, and I was like, there you go, left to right, there they are, and then the people's choice, boom, Bashar Assad.
It's quite interesting that Lula da Silva is there out of all of them, like because all the three of them I understand, like Macron, de facto leader of the European Union, and Europe's spokesman because Olaf Scholz is just a non-entity, and just really bad and really unpopular in Germany. Assad again, the trolls and the memes, and Trump, US president. It's really interesting that Lula's there because he's not very well known internationally unless you're really into politics. But then again, most people on here are. So, yeah, it's a very curious choice. And it's also curious how well he's actually done, to be honest.
I would say, I see Lula, I think, has been getting nominations every year for a few years now. I think if we think about the big, wide Captain Swiss audience, there's obviously a certain contingent of people who are sort of like left wing and want to vote for sort of their guy on the world stage, maybe.
In many ways,
Lula's seen as that, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose if people had paid attention more to perhaps Mexico, I guess the Mexican president that's been elected could have been possibly the left's choice, but I guess because she's a bit unknown to most, and Lulu's more recognized, I guess, as the only sort of lefty that or sort of regarded as left that actually seems to be winning and doing well.
And to be fair to Lula, he's in charge of a quite powerful country in the world because Brazil is massive. It's in the top 20 economies in the world. And it's the most powerful country in South America. So it's understandable, I guess, why he's gotten that level of popularity because just being the leader of Brazil makes you quite high up on the world stage.
All right, then, just quickly before I reveal the results, Tom and John, of those four, who would you pick?
Lulu.
I went for the meme option, but if I went for what my own personal beliefs are, I'd probably choose Lula.
Can I just say we've had a comment pretty much intended just for you, Tom, which says, Tom calls Assad voters the trolls like he didn't vote for Assad, and indeed reveals that you did vote for Assad.
Well...
All right, then.
I did say the memes as well. I did say the trolls and the memes, so...
All right, then. Well. Let's see then. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Will it be the Trump voters? Will it be the people who love their beloved centrists? Will it be the left-wing bloc? Will it be the meme voters? Let's find out. International Statesman of the Year 2024. In third place. Yes, that's right. Third place, because we've got a joint on something. In third place here, sorry, I lost my place there. I was just scrolling back up the page. In third place, on 21% of the votes, is Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is not going to be the international statesman this year.
Thank goodness.
Assad's still in the game, though. It could be Assad's year. You still don't know, right? We have joint second place and then first place. So I'm going to roll this all off nice and quick. Are you ready? All right.
Yep.
In joint second place on 25% of the votes each for international statesmen are Emmanuel Macron and Bashar al-Assad, which means Lula da Silva is the winner. International Statesman of the Year this year.
It
This
looks
is the
like in this case, the left-wing voters got their wish.
The left-wing voters got their wish. They said to themselves, we're not voting for a smelly centrist. We're definitely not voting for Donald Trump. They might have been tempted by the meme vote for Assad, but no, they stuck together and they voted for their guy.
In many ways, this is the second time Macron has come second to a left-wing group or party for the year.
Hey, I like that. Well done.
But interesting enough, who knows? It could be very possible down the line that this poll, this little voting choice, could be the future of politics. The lefties, the centrists, the right, and then the memers.
And then Assad. Not even just the memers, it's just always Assad.
You should stick
All
them
right.
on the ballot, because why not, I guess. I mean, I will just say that with the Macron thing, he didn't come second to the left, he came third to the left in his elections.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Macron. Do you want to hear a little joke about Bashar?
Oh, what?
Well, when he was the leader of Syria, he was a happy, and now he's a sad.
Okay. I would probably. I guess. Well, Tom, I guess you could argue technically Macron is both second and third in this one as well.
All right then. That is International Statesman. It's time, guys, for International Pariah. And it's another Trump-Assad category. Sadly for Trump and Assad, neither of them won the last one, but maybe they'll make it in for this one. Who knows? Who knows? International Pariah of the Year. The finalists are Bashar al-Assad, world-famous doctor and peacemaker. Donald Trump, WWE Hall of Famer. Benjamin Netanyahu, the ICC wants a word. Or Vladimir Putin, special military operation mastermind. Guys, International Pariah, what are you thinking? Who are your picks for this?
Let's see.
I would say that everyone on here, apart from Trump, has definitely got the potential to get this award, because Trump is the odd one out here, because 3 out of 4 of these people are basically war criminals.
Yeah. It's amazing that you've had to make a room with Bashar Assad, Netanyahu, Putin, and Trump in order for Trump to be the least bad person in that room.
Technically, all US presidents in some way are war criminal. Let's see, though.
To be fair, the difference is there is a difference between targeted military operations in a country without authorization of Congress and starting a war against your neighboring country for the purpose of either puppeting them or annexing them. Another one, not starting a war, but getting involved in a war and then just unleashing absolute revenge upon the targeted group of people. And the other person killed 600,000 of his own people just to stay in power, going as far as to use even WMDs in order to do that. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of Trump, but this is definitely one of those odd one out choices. Really.
No, granted, if he does become president next year, we have to wait and see if he's gonna back up those claims of invading Canada, Mexico, and I think a few other places.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine we're here again next year and we go, oh, well, it turned out Donald Trump actually invaded Canada and Panama. So I guess he wins Pariah of the Year this year.
Yeah, 1 year later from now, we're all sitting here talking about the American-Canadian War, the Panamanian-American War, and the Mexican-American War, and potentially even the NATO-American/Danish-American War.
And we all go, well, we heard him talking about it. We just didn't think he was actually going to do it.
Yeah, you shouldn't. A president of the United States shouldn't even be talking about that in the first place, to be honest. But yeah. But right. I am a little concerned with Canada because I do have some distant relatives in Canada, actually.
Right. Would you like the results, dear friend?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I was-
So no problem. No problem. Right. Okay. So international pariah. Um, Continuing on from the commentary made of the candidates, it should come as little surprise that Donald Trump is in fourth place. He received just a single vote in the finals for International Pariah of the Year. Understandable when you've got so many other great options to choose from in this category. In third place, on only 11% of the votes, Vladimir Putin. It's people have called off on Putin, but back invasion of Ukraine a few years ago, Putin. Now, Putin. No, there's bigger fish to fry.
That's largely because of the fact that the war in Ukraine, with the exception of a handful of incidents, has more or less settled into a World War One style war of attrition. There's territorial gains here and there, but nothing substantial or decisive has taken place this year. All the action took place in 2022 and 2023.
Are you ready
Yeah.
for the final then? So
Yeah.
it's either gonna be Bashar al-Assad or Benjamin Netanyahu.
It looks like it's another competition between the meme voters and the lefties.
Right. Well, Bashar Assad has not actually won a Milky yet tonight, has he? I don't think he has.
No.
I think
Nope.
no. Oh, poor Assad. He's really trying, bless him. All right then. So, international pariah. We have Bashar al-Assad. We have Benjamin Netanyahu. In second place, on 37% of the votes, is Bashar al-Assad. So the winner of International Pariah of the Year, wanted by the ICC, is President of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, on 48% of the votes. Now, to some, this might be a bit of a controversial pick, so I just want to issue a little statement to the dear viewers, okay? Benjamin Netanyahu has a right to defend himself. And if that is going to involve the killing of tens of thousands of innocent civilians, so be it. So be it. There we are. I think that should have got the Israelis off my back. Yeah.
If I see any
interesting-
commentary, Jerry is is messaging in a private chat.
Yeah, the interesting thing actually about this is I think this is the biggest winning vote share that we've had so far for anybody. I don't think anyone up until this point has come close to winning nearly half the vote. So yeah, this was quite a decisive victory for this one.
Yeah, I think it's
Jerry.
because-
Jerry, can I just say Jerry has added in the chat, by the way, he's also Prime Minister, not President. My mistake, Pariah of the Year, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah,
You
the
are
president
Prime
of
Minister, Benjamin
Yeah.
Netanyahu.
the president of Israel is Isaac Herzog, who is pretty much just Netanyahu 2.0, to be honest.
So there we are, results on screen for you guys. We have a teeny little slither for Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, Bashar Assad, but our winner, Benjamin Netanyahu.
I think one reason why you could probably say Netanyahu probably won is because people really dislike him for I guess you could argue for what he's done in the Middle East, and not to mention the war has expanded beyond just Israel and Palestine now. In many ways, it's going into I'm trying to remember the country at top of them. Let's see where
It's a regional conflict that has sprouted out into multiple different countries now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the reason for it is because this was the war of this year that got so much attention. Even though it began last year in October, the most of it has taken place this year, and it's also broadened out to Lebanon, Yemen, Iran, and now Syria as well, because there is a link here between Assad falling and Netanyahu, because within hours of Assad fleeing the country to Russia, Israel invaded southern Syria and took a slice of territory from it for security reasons, as they claim.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that the conflict has also led to certain voters in certain seats in like the UK and in the US voting for like third parties, and or yeah, you've caused it's caused also a bit of a minor shake up in politics a little.
Yeah,
Um,
that's another thing as well. It's had an impact on the election results of certain countries. I mean, it was responsible for taking down high profile politicians in this country. Jonathan Ashworth was one of which. And there is an argument to be made that it played a role, even however small that may have been, in why Donald Trump won and Kamala Harris lost.
Yeah,
I want to
arguably.
say,
Sorry, go on.
I'll go. I'll let you say your piece. I'm going to do a few comments.
Arguably, I think the moment Biden just gave Netanyahu support, without any hesitation, no restraints at all. I think that was probably the first sign that he was not going to win this.
Right, I'm going to do a few comments. So Joey got very animated on this one. Said, seriously though, the real answer is Putin. How many people did Putin kill versus Netanyahu? I'll give you that, Joey. Putin's got a higher body count there. Definitely the left-wing dominance rigging the results. I demand a recount, or we can do it in Putin's way, and I'll send in a lot of my boys and call them native Swiss people to vote. I'll add to. I think what was said a moment ago. I think that it's to do with, I think, the relevance specifically of this year. Certainly, yes, if you want to put our pariah candidates next to one another and we say how many are they responsible for killing within an allotted amount of time or whatever, then probably
I mean, there's
Putin does
two
win out
ways you
for
can
that.
really
But
argue it, because while Putin is responsible for killing far more people than Netanyahu has done, it's worth noting that the vast majority of people who have died in the Ukraine war, at least to my knowledge anyway, are soldiers, both Ukrainian and Russian. There's been thousands of civilians killed, but we don't know how many exactly.
Yeah, and
Whereas
among them children.
But with Israel and Gaza and the rest of it, the vast proportion of the people being killed are just civilians.
yeah, I would say that again, we don't know exactly because we can't confirm it because of the nature of the conflict, but I would say that the majority of people who have died in Ukraine are soldiers. It's still tragic, of course, because those are people who did not need to die, but a soldier knows what they're getting into. They know what they're signing up for when they go to war. Whereas a civilian is by definition someone who is always caught in the crossfire and didn't sign up for this.
And they can't really defend themselves.
Yeah,
but
and they can't defend themselves either.
But just to cap this one off, I will add that I think any of our top 3 finalists in Pariah of the Year, any of them easily deserving winners. Where we're not saying the winner was the winner to the detriment, and anyone who didn't win is therefore not a pariah. But this is just what the voting audience decided. So there we are.
I mean, it's without a doubt, just to end this off completely, because this could go on for a very long time. We haven't got time for it, but just to end this off, 3 of these people, as I said from the very beginning, 3 of these people deserve their status as pariah because all 3 of them are massive war criminals responsible for killing tens of thousands, in the case of Putin and Assad, hundreds of thousands of innocent people.
Whereas Donald Trump is just a domestic criminal, which is a slightly different category compared to.
No, I will admit he does seem to have a bit of a habit of kissing up to the pariahs. To be fair,
the one thing I'll also just quickly say that's not relevant to this is Jerry is backstage. If you want to let him in.
Oh yes. I'll add Jerry in. Hello there.
Dog, you saw me saying shit in the chat. You were like, "Oh, that's Jerry in the backstage chat." He's not doing anything.
To be fair, I did mention that you did the private comments. I thought Swiss was going to add you in after that, but he didn't.
No,
I hadn't spotted. I hadn't spotted until now. Right, guys, I'm going to move us on to our next award, biggest winner of the year. Okay.
Assad, easy.
Finalists for biggest winner of the year. Finalists for biggest winner of the year are Keir Starmer and Labour, Netanyahu and Israel, Donald Trump, and Reform UK.
I think for this one, I think I voted for Starmer and Labour for this one, for the same reasons why I voted for them for Party Leader of the Year. Massive majority that they won after never expecting to even get into government this year.
Yeah,
I think also the only non-right-wing option.
yeah. I think I wrote in Assad, but I might have also wrote in Israel. I don't know.
I put Starmer and Labour just because the other options were, well, to me, shite.
There's one thing that you're forgetting here, guys, okay? And we've spoken about the power of the left-wing bloc vote in the Captain Swiss audience, but here's the issue. Do they hate Reform UK? I'm sure they do. Do they hate Donald Trump? You betcha. Do they hate Netanyahu in Israel? Oh boy, do they. But do they hate Keir Starmer? They probably hate Keir Starmer more than anyone else on that list. Because he is the great betrayer of the Labour Party.
I feel like both the biggest winners on the biggest losers category, because I know general public. I put it in for biggest losers nomination once, like sarcastically, and it just became a running nomination.
Oh,
I'm sure there is enough of like skepticism where it's like, oh yeah, Netanyahu's the biggest winner because he fucking killed all those Arabs, or Trump's the winner because he's fucking blonde or whatever.
all right. Okay. Well, I'll reveal one thing to you guys to start with. Okay. One of our 4 finalists did not receive any votes.
Wow.
Keep in mind that they had to be nominated in order to get to the finals. But then once we got to the finals, whoever nominated them went, I've changed my mind. I'm voting for one of the other guys. So Reform UK, 0 votes for biggest winner of the year. Sorry, Reform.
He's my favorite Reform member.
Right, so look, here we are. Skullman proves my point exactly. Labour are also right-wing. I voted Trump. There we are. The left-wing bloc vote, ladies and gentlemen. I knew it. All right then. So with Reform UK out of the running, we are on to our final 3 here. So in 3rd place, on 21% of the votes, is Keir Starmer and Labour. No, that's what I'm saying. That the left-wing bloc vote is not going to give Starmer his flowers, I'm afraid.
Who watches this channel and is like, oh yeah, I'm a big Keir Starmer fan?
Centrist dad.
Yeah, to be fair, we got about 28 votes. There very well could be people who are just observers or lurkers, people who never comment, never take part in the stream, but watch it regardless.
Oh yeah, we've got all different little variegated flavors in the audience. We've got kind of like a core of left wing from way back when. We've got a little bit of sort of like your Trump populist right smattered in there as well. We've got an unhealthy contingent of liberal Democrat types, or at least of bullets to be believed. I don't know.
I'm a 14.
You mean James?
I love Tony Blair and I qualify for Sewer Start. So yeah, Keir Starmer is basically the next Jesus Christ.
Look, that's it. I will probably say this. I do wonder if Labour would have done better if you did not have Keir Starmer's name in that.
Well, any other leader would have been 20 points ahead of where Labour ended up.
I think, to be honest, you'd probably have Labour down there much lower than if you didn't have Keir Starmer there, because I think that people loathe the Labour Party even more than they loathe Keir Starmer, or at least in my experience anyway.
Yeah, and again, with some of these, I had to combine them to push them into the finals. So Keir Starmer and Labour were sometimes nominated separately, and as was Netanyahu and Israel, sometimes nominated separately. But to get combine them together sometimes.
You also could have had people who, as they voted, wrote down Labour as well.
Labour.
Exclusively you.
The Uni Party. I vote for the Uni Party. All right then. So Reform UK not in the running. In 3rd place, Keir Starmer and Labour. In 2nd place, now I'll tell you this as well. 2nd place got 28% of the vote. 1st place got 50% of the vote. So the winner of biggest winner received half of all the votes. So it's either Netanyahu in Israel or Donald Trump.
I think it'll be Trump. That's what I think.
You reckon Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I think people just see, even though they hate Starmer, Netanyahu's probably the person they hate the most afterwards.
I think I voted Trump, but I think I believe Netanyahu will win.
The winner on 50% of the vote is Donald Trump. It's another Milky for Trump.
Yeah.
I'm myself in gasoline.
And there we are. There's your. Don't douse yourself in gasoline yet. We've not found out stream guest of the year yet.
Actually, I will probably say this. Swiss. Logically, if it was people were thinking logically rather than emotionally, you'd probably be having Keir Starmer and Labour and Donald Trump, because Labour had, of course, their big landslide. Donald Trump because he had his big comeback.
Yeah, logically speaking, that makes sense.
If I have to look at this bunch, I'd probably say biggest winner being Donald Trump, because not only did he win arguably the biggest prize on offer, the US presidency, but for Labour, they won power 6 months ago, and it's all kind of soured and gone a bit shit for them ever since then. But Trump's sort of the only one recently, and he's still riding high on that. So
all I'm gonna say is that Donald Trump won an election against a senile retard, and then Netanyahu wiped out the Gaza Christians off the face of the fucking earth. So, like, if we're counting wins.
Frank has commented in the chat quite a interesting thing. He has said Tom and Jerry are both in the live stream.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
That is probably the joke of the year.
Listen, everyone and their dad's called Tom. I was always a cunt called Jerry growing up, so trust me, your whole Tom and Jerry joke, I haven't heard this joke since my balls didn't drop.
Right. I'm gonna move us on, guys. Okay, we've got biggest loser next, and then what I'm gonna do before we do stream guest and side chatter, I'm gonna pivot over to our write-in categories, because I think we should end on a high with the ones that you're all waiting for. So
okay.
All right. So we have biggest loser of the year 2024. Your finalists are Kamala Harris, obviously losing the US presidential election. Bashar al-Assad, come on, he's got to win one of them, surely.
Please.
The Public, oh yes, every year since the beginning of time, the Public wins a Milky for biggest loser.
I was the first person to write them in as nomination. And
you started it. You started it, and now look where we've ended up.
And now it's just a fart in the elevator. It's like, damn, I did a shitty Ian Hislop fucking quip. No, this is my
the Public one is kind of amusing, because it's sort of like a throwaway one, because it's like basically the Public always loses. They never win.
Yeah.
Always the
I do. What's the fourth option out of curiosity?
Oh, yeah, sorry. The fourth option is the Tories and Rishi Sunak.
Well, who knows? It might be possible that this year people might consider either Assad or the Tories, just because, well, Assad lost his regime and the Tories have had their worst defeat ever.
Only in the Milkys can you have a political commentary YouTube channel where someone says maybe this year someone picks between Assad and the Tories. All right, so really
weakest mustache of the year.
Oh, Claire's being harsh, saying biggest loser, I want James to win.
So really weird one in the results for this one, guys. We have 4 finalists: Kamala, Assad, the Public, and the Tories. However, we have joint second place and joint first place.
Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So there is someone a winner that's not the Public for a change.
Well, all to be revealed. So, okay, so in joint second place on 17.9% of the vote each is the Tories and Rishi Sunak and Kamala Harris.
Oh, thank God.
Which means that the joint winners of Biggest Loser of the Year 2024 are the Public again, and Assad. Hey, he won
Well,
one.
To be fair,
Lord.
yeah,
You know,
whenever all those prisons got opened, Assad sort of lost the public anyways.
I think that really sums up Assad's luck in these Milkies. He gets nominated for so many categories, and in the end, the only one that he wins, he has to share it with the British general public.
But yeah, but I suppose in a sense, Assad can at least have this one achievement. He managed to sort of break just the public just winning by themselves as the losers every year.
Yeah,
The way
you know,
that you could do, you could also potentially combine this to include both of them to say the Syrian public as well.
you know what? That we had one or two nominations for that. It was a tricky one for me to categorize, but we had a handful of them that said something like the Syrian people or Arabs or what have you. But then again, that got filtered into biggest winner and biggest loser, depending on what bit of the Middle East you live in at the moment. But yeah, there we are. So the public again and Bashar al-Assad both joint biggest losers of 2024.
Yeah, I will be admit it would be very interesting if you could have separated the public and Assad for like different types of categories of losers and just like political loser of the year or something. It'd be very interesting to see how everyone would vote. Let's say, did Kamala lost bigger or the Tories lost bigger?
Yeah, because Assad will win 2 Milkys instead of 1.
Okay, so we're moving on to our write-in categories now, guys. So our just to refresh you, we had 4 write-in categories, which was the best Swiss content of the year, political comeback of the year, election result of the year, and film of the year. And these were all categories that that you guys collectively decided. Says so it was the world public, not the Great British public. Well, look, I'm maybe splitting hairs here, trying to figure out which public it was. We're gonna say it was just the people, you know.
I wrote the nomination in, and I always assumed it as the Great British public. But also
I mean, as it pertains to us. But you know what? If you're part of a public in another country out there, dear viewer, and you'd like to consider yourself one of the biggest losers of 2024, you're welcome to do so as well. We won't.
To be fair, I think whether directly or indirectly, there's something in the world happening that will make everyone in the public a loser.
All right then. So it's slightly different. I don't have pie charts for these ones because they were write-ins. So I'm going to share on screen with you and explain as I do it. So political comeback of the year. We had everyone putting their different responses. Some of them are variations of the same thing but spelt differently. As you can see, we've got big peaks here in this graph for Donald Trump, Nigel Farage, Trump again. Looking at all these, I think you can pretty safely say the winner of political comeback of the year is Donald Trump. He definitely got more voters than anyone else. Worthy mentions, we had a vote for Assad. Political comeback of the year, Assad, if you say so.
If I had to guess, that was probably a jokey one.
Probably.
I was serious about it.
Corbyn wins as an independent. Donald Trump, Douglas Alexander, George Galloway, Jeremy Corbyn wins as an independent. Lib Dems, Peter Mandelson, the SNP, Swiss, Syrian opposition. Trump winning, Nigel Farage. Yeah, okay. So we had a few mentions of a few others, but by and large, pretty dominated by Trump. Probably got.
I have a great idea for a nomination after hearing Peter Mandelson.
So,
Yeah,
I had to guess.
I was going to say for the one that's particularly strange about this is you got a few that are odd, like Douglas Alexander. Who the hell voted for Douglas Alexander?
Look, you know, you give someone a box on a form and they can write whatever they want in it. You'd be surprised at some of the things I get back.
If I had to guess, first Donald Trump, second Nigel Farage, and third Jeremy Corbyn from some of those options. Yes. I'd say that's right. Yeah, so political comeback of the year, our winner is Donald Trump, second place Farage, third place Jeremy Corbyn. There we are. Lee Hallam adds, I suppose Assad has made a comeback in terms of his profile. Well, you know, when's the last time we spent this much time talking about Assad on the YouTube channel? I have to admit, I'm surprised you left out.
I'd say.
have to admit, Swiss, I'm surprised you left out Scandal of the Year. For this one.
I like to do a rotating basis of all the different Milkies year on year. But if it was Scandal of the Year, what would you guys have picked for Scandal of the Year? I would have probably like Keir Starmer getting all those clothes off of Lord Alley or something.
It was either.
I would say that's a very easy one. D-Day.
Would you call it a scandal? Because I would have said that would be like a blunder if we did a blunder. But you could.
I would say it's a scandal because it was treated as if it was a scandal, basically. Because it was basically because there was a whole debate that went on at the time whether it was intentional or whether it was unintentional, because we heard conflicting reports about it at the time.
Yeah. Let's see. If I was to pick a global one, it'd probably be the removal of Biden because of just how much of a shit show that turned into.
Guys, I'm going to give you election result of the year. This was another write-in, okay?
Okay.
Just while you were talking, I did a quick totaling up in my head to see which one won that. Election result of the year. Here are the responses that we've had come in. We've got a lot for Trump and the US election. We've got quite a few for Jeremy Corbyn winning as an independent in Islington. We've got a handful for George Galloway and that Rochdale by-election as well, for that matter. And then some mentions of the French Parliament election, Wes Streeting shitting it with a 500 majority.
If I had to guess, that is Skullman's choice.
I fucking wish I nominated that. I wish I wrote that in.
What's funny about it is they've spelt majority wrong and they've said literally under investigation.
I love it. All right, so guys, election result of the year. I'm afraid it's Trump again. Trump was one of it. I would have quite liked this one personally. I voted for which one did I vote for? I either voted for Jeremy Corbyn in Islington or Galloway and Rochdale as election result of the year because I thought it'd be a bit boring if it was all just Trump. But Trump's the winner of this one again. Second place, we're going to say Corbyn in Islington, and third place we'll say Galloway in Rochdale. So,
what about the UK election? Is it what place?
Someone just put Starmer as a single word.
Okay.
Starmer.
Okay.
We had a couple for the UK election, but not loads.
I think
the most interesting.
I think Corbyn probably counts as UK election. I think.
Okay. No, I think interestingly, there's one for the French election there.
Yeah, there are a couple for the French elections. So Corbyn just coming short of a couple of Milkies this year. Right, we are going to move on to best Swiss content. And I'm just going to read all these ones out. So we had Swiss's work stories, streams, Pokemon, political coverage live streams, AI-made content, UK general election, UK general election, UK general election, UK general election, washing up accompaniment videos, also known as Pokemon, Lee Hallam, weird AI shit, general election, the gang gets diddled, the sketches and other... Oh, yeah, that was a little Always Sunny in Philadelphia edit that I stuck up on the channel called The Gang Gets Diddled, because they had diddles in an episode. Sketches, David S. Pumpkin's world record, general election, gaming streams, election coverage, Swiss eating pizza, I'm Swiss, that was me. A special message to Claire King, comfy political discussion streams, all of it. 2024 general election stream, every video with James Fielding's bald head in.
Okay, that one is definitely Claire.
Yeah. So I think, guys, pretty clearly the winner of Swiss content of the year has to be my stream for the 2024 UK general election. That seems to be what most people said. But I liked the variety. It's nice that pretty much nearly every bit of content I've tried my hand at got at least one or two votes.
Yeah,
so
I would say your UK election stream was arguably the most covered. Most of us were there, we're giving our thoughts and also the reactions. I think being surprised by some results and such as that. I think I'm getting excited.
I think the best one is definitely the last option in that list. That was the one that's the best in my opinion.
Friend of the channel, Mr. James Fielding.
Yes.
Okay, and finally, before we move on to our most important awards, streamer guest and side chatter, let's have a look at film of the year. This was another one I hadn't expected this one, but the nominations, enough people said, yeah, do film of the year. So, I'll read out these ones. Not watched enough to say. Maybe you should have also recommended a TV series of the year category. You might want to have a look at the film Perfect Days from this year, though, Swiss. It looks relaxing from the trailer. So thank you very much for that response. Perfect Days. I'll keep that one in mind. Transformers 1, Paddington, Return to Peru, Poor Things, The Substance, Joker 2, joke. Haven't seen any of them. Wicked, Dune 2, Garfield, Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't watch movies, sorry. Dune 2, Kneecap, Sonic 3 or Deadpool and Wolverine, Planet of the Apes, Deadpool and Wolverine, Nora, Israelism. Is that a film or is that someone shit posting? I don't know.
Hold on.
It's
Fucking
not a
Deadpool
film.
got 2 nominations. Fuck that. That's bullshit.
What got 2 nominations?
That is Deadpool and Wolverine. That's some fucking Reddit bullshit right there. I put Kneecap in, but even then, that's some Reddit bullshit.
Conclave, None They're All Shite, Wicked, and Bald, the James Fielding story.
Yeah, you really.
I would say just about probably the
Deadpool,
winner.
I think.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, I think that's
Fucking
appeared
Predator.
one, two, three times. Deadpool and Wolverine. So,
Yeah, I put the Sonic 3 and Deadpool and Wolverine because I watched Sonic 3 that weekend, I think. Deadpool and Wolverine, I remember that film, but I did forget about Transformers 1. I probably would have put that as well, to be honest.
Hang on, guys. We have a last-minute entrant. Let me total up the amount of times someone said, "Sorry, I don't watch films."
I was one who put that down. That was one of them was me because I don't.
1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, our winner of film of the year is none of the above. Because there are more people who responded saying, sorry, I don't. They didn't even have to answer the question. It wasn't mandatory, but they chose to respond and say, sorry, I don't have a pick. I haven't watched any films.
Here's the thing, in the movie Kneecap, there's a whole scene where one of them does a bunch of ketamine thinking it's cocaine, and then they have like a whole hallucination sequence, and one of their heads turns into Jerry Adams. But it's like literally starring as himself in the movie.
Sorry, Jerry, you're sounding a bit echoey in your.
Yeah. I just heard this weird vague echo, and then
I hear
Jerry
the echo
Adams.
as well, so it isn't me.
Wait, it's not you?
It's not me. I hear it.
Oh, it's gone.
Okay.
It's gone.
Okay.
Anyway,
It must have been Tom, I guess. It's someone
Alright.
Tom is respecting us all.
so
But,
I hope I don't watch films wins, says Claire King. Lee Hallam says, and that sums up the state of the film industry. Yeah, so we're going to give it to none of the above, but with Deadpool and Wolverine in a close second.
Well, I would be fair to the film industry. They've had a much better year than last year, I'd say.
yeah, I'd say that.
I mean, okay, the only real disaster I can think of was Joker 2.
Right. Are you
I
ready?
guess Sony's Marvel films.
I'm ready to make my acceptance.
Are you ready for the big guns, folks?
The last 2 categories that we've all been waiting for.
Oh, yes. Now, I'll tell you what, okay, because I've got 3 of our 4 finalists for Stream Guest of the Year actually here as Stream Guests, I'm going to make that one the very final one that we do. Okay? So,
Fuck's sake, I've been meaning to go for a piss.
So first up, we have the Annabelle Clark Side Chatter of the Year award, named after our friend Angels, who sadly left us a couple of years ago. But whenever she was here on the stream, she was always an incredible advocate of the side chat. She would say to me time and time again, "Swiss, you're not reading the comments. Read some comments," and people very much appreciated that in the chat. And the year that she passed, she won both Milkys hands down to the point that we had to create a brand new tier of Milky, which was the Platinum Milky, and we named the awards after her as well. Okay, so our finalists for Side Chatter of the Year are NA, Frank, Claire King, Lee Hallam, Dr. Richmond Orsemanbed, and Apollo TD.
Yeah. Just before you give me the result for this, In case anyone forgets, I was actually the winner of last year's side chatter, surprisingly. But granted, I will admit, this year I haven't really done much, if not at all, any side chatting. Though I was still surprised I won last time.
We have Milky royalty with us here today. All right.
For this one, the person who I voted for in this one, it was Frank. I voted for Frank in this one.
Yeah, I voted for Frank well because I
Yeah,
think he's been quite
same here.
active and Etsy on the chat in the side comments.
All right then. So, I will reveal from lowest to highest. Here we are. I'm afraid, NA, if you're out there, you did not receive any votes in the finals for Side Chat of the Year.
Poor NA.
Despite making it through with nominations, unfortunately. I don't know how much of that is down to anyone answering going, this just seems to be a non-applicable option here. I won't vote for that because I've got to pick for somebody else.
It's possible that some people could have just interpreted it as not available, because that's usually what that is on a sheet, basically.
Yeah. But I'd just like to say, for my part, I think you absolutely deserve to have made it into the finals, and I hope you do better next year. All right then. So, in joint fourth place. Now let me think. We are having the platinum Milky, so we've got platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. Okay, so joint bronze. You have to share it. You only get one. You have to work out custody on weekends and that kind of thing.
That or split in half.
All right. Joint bronze Annabelle Clark Side Chatter of the Year Milky goes to Apollo TD and Dr. Richmond Awesome in Bed. So congratulations, Apollo TD, Dr. Richmond Awesome in Bed. You get yourselves the joint bronze.
Let's see. Apollo TD got the Conservative vote.
I'm not going to say in third place. The silver. Yes, there we are. The silver. The silver Milky for Side Chatter of the Year goes to Claire King. Well done, Claire King. There we go in the chat. It feels a bit wooden being the only person in the stream seeing myself clapping. It's a bit like when we were clapping for the NHS in the pandemic, where we just go, yeah, well, oh, is that who's watching me do it? Hey, there we go. Claire King says, no, I don't want it. All right then. Which means then that our Annabelle Clark Side Chatter of the Year, gold and platinum winners, in one order or the other, are going to be Lee Hallam and Frank. So, our gold winner, Side Chatter of the Year, is Lee Hallam on 24% of the vote. Well done, Lee Hallam. Congratulations to you. Which also means a sensational achievement for Frank. Frank, you have won the platinum Annabelle Clark Side Chatter of the Year Milky on 48% of the votes. That's a humongous proportion. Take a look at that.
Wow. That's really...
The first time nomination and the first time winner.
Yeah, that's a new record, actually. First time nomination and first time winner by miles.
Well, I mean, to be fair, all the way through the voting, when I'd see you guys chatting to each other in Bullet, you were all just saying to each other, I'm voting for Frank, I'm voting for Frank, I'm voting for Frank. So it came as a very little surprise to me that Frank ended up winning.
By the way, I just wanted to quickly
yeah.
say Jerry accidentally left, so he might be in the backstage to add him back in.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I'll add him back in. So I just want to say, Frank, massive congratulations on winning Side Chatter of the Year. Frank, I'd said in Bullet a little bit earlier, if anyone was maybe not able to come on stream, but they wanted to prepare a little statement or something for if they won, and I could read it out, then they would do. And Frank actually elected to do so. Frank had actually prepared a statement, so I'd like to read this out from Frank. Okay. I'm truly humbled and honoured to be taking home the Delete as Applicable Platinum Prize, as well as just to be nominated for the coveted Annabelle Clark Side Chatter of the Year for the second year in a row. This award, of course, was named in tribute to the late Angels, whom we all cherish in our memories as someone who was incredibly kind to everyone she interacted with, regardless of their background or ideology, As a woman, she brought a much-needed perspective to our political and moral compass in a YouTube space that is overwhelmingly male-dominated. Above all, she represented everything the community surrounding the Captain Swish channel was built upon, a safe haven for discussing various political topics during the turbulent and, dare I say, slightly nostalgic Brexit years, all with a sprinkle of humour. For those reasons, I owe a debt of gratitude to everyone who nominated and voted for me to receive this award. I also want to congratulate all the other nominees and prize winners in Side Chatter and Stream Guest categories. Your outstanding contributions to the channel over the past year have been duly noted and celebrated tonight. Thank you once again for your nominations and votes. From Frank. How nice is that, eh? Lovely, lovely. Touching words from Frank. Thank you very much, Frank. And I just want to add to that and say that throughout the year, Frank so many times has just completely unsolicited messaged me on Twitter with thumbnails that he's made for me to use for the content on this channel. Just pops up out the blue. Swiss, I made you a thumbnail for this. I made you a thumbnail for that, and it's always really appreciated. So, Frank, I well deserved.
He's also
well
in
deserved.
addition.
Well done. Go on.
God. In addition to that, during bullet discussions as well, if there's ever sort of bit of evidence that I need help with discussion.
Oh, Tom, can you speak a bit closer to your mic for me?
Oh God. I said during bullet discussions, if there's ever something I'm wrong about, or if there's something that can back me up further, he always gives me something to do it with, or corrects me when I'm wrong, and I do appreciate that as well, which is one of the reasons why I voted for him. So,
hey, good. And Frank's a relatively new member of the Bullet group chat that we've got on Twitter, even though Frank's been watching the channel for years and years. Only got added to Bullet recently, but I'd say is absolutely, fitted in one of the gang and all the rest of it. I want to read a few comments from people here. Lee Hallam, who came second and got the gold Milky in this category, says, "Thank you all and well done, Frank." Frank says, "Thank you so much. Well done, Lee, Dan, Richmond, and Claire for their awards as well." And again, I want to say to NA as well, congratulations for making it through to the finals. Yeah, people offering their congratulations. Frank says, "I've been watching you for 7 years, Swiss. I'm glad to see my hard work has at least paid off." Hey, look, you can tell your family now you won your internet award. You had to stay glued to your phone for, so there we are. And Frank also adds, 2025 may bring new pastures, potentially as a stream guest. Hey, it's open to you if you'd like it. If you'd like to come on at some point, you're more than welcome to. One last accepting message. James Fielding is bald. Good night, all. Well, there we are.
Wow. This is the first I'm hearing about this.
Okay, then. So, fun and games are over, guys. It's time for the final award of the night. Stream Guest of the Year 2024. I'll remind you of the finalists, as if any of you guys here in the stream with me need reminding. We have Tom. Let's hear it for Tom.
way.
Oh, I love it. Great, that enthusiasm. We have Objects of Hate, who's been a viewer of the channel for a while. Came on during the US election stream that we did a couple of months ago. And I said to him at the time, "Hey, you're eligible for a Stream Guest of the Year Milky now." And he's made it through to the finals. We have John Cooper. Give it up for John Cooper.
Yeah, I am honoured to be nominated for a second time, and hopefully I'll do better than third place than last time. And you also got a brief accidental ability appearance of my face the stream.
That's all right. And Jerry.
Yeah, I got the mead like I promised.
All right then, guys. So, pardon me. I can reveal that we have another tie in this one. We have a tie for third place. So there will be no bronze Milky this year. 2 of you are coming away with a silver. Lucky you. Silver winners of Stream Guest of the Year 2024 are Object of Hate, wherever you are, Object, well done, and John Cooper. John Cooper, congratulations! Another Milky to add to the collection.
Yeah, not as
another Milky to the collection.
Not as bad. Not as well. On one hand, I didn't get bronze. At least I got silver. Even if
there we are. There we are. So Tom and Jerry, It's down to you two. Now,
Fucking
remind
Reddit-ass fucking joke.
remind the viewers for me, Tom and Jerry. What are your histories with Stream Guest of the Year? Who's won it before? Who's
Yeah.
come close?
So like Tom would chase me with a big wooden mallet, and then I would just hide into my little mice hole, and that's about it.
I think Tom usually ends up winning because he is the most informative member of your
Okay,
guest games.
here's the thing. Technically speaking, I was the last person to win a Milky Award for Stream Guest, with it like being like a unanimous result. And ever since then, I've been like second or third place or something. So technically speaking, I'm the longest reigning Stream Guest of the year. But I'm not bragging about it, although I am the greatest of all time.
You very much, and Tom, you were telling me before we went live that you was it the first year that we did it, back when we didn't have gold, silver, and bronze, but the first year that we did it when Annabelle won, you came second that year, so you nearly won a Milky that year.
I did, yes. That was back then. I think she clearly won it though. It was a clean sweep for her, but yeah, I was second place back then. Other than that, I don't think I've ever been nominated afterwards, or at least I can't remember being nominated anyway. But then again, that was so many years ago, and my memory is quite hazy of that time, to be honest.
Okay, well, I will give you guys one last bit of trivia before I reveal the winner. So, in our awards that we've had tonight, there have only been a handful of sort of very clear-cut winners for some of these awards. Ones where they've received almost half of the votes. The one with the most votes for any given category, or the highest percentage, I ought to say, for any given category, was the biggest winner of the year, and that was Donald Trump on 50%. Frank won his side chatter Milky with 48% of the votes. The winner of Stream Guest of the Year 2024 received 50% of the votes.
Ooh,
So whichever one of you two it is, you got half the votes for this category.
Okay, you know what, Tom? I can understand it. You're a very charismatic fellow. You know what I mean? I concede.
Conceded. now I turn around and go, and by the way, you're the winner, Jerry. Well done. I'll tell you. All right then, guys. So our gold Milky in second place on 19% of the votes goes to Jerry. Congrats, Jerry. Which means that Tom is our winner of Stream Guest of the Year 2024 on 50% of the vote. Congratulations, Tom.
Well done, Tom. I think even though I probably
Tom,
if I had to
Tom, do you agree that we transfer both of our votes and we make Bashar al-Assad the Stream Guest of the Year?
Yes, I would support that. Bashar al-Assad, Stream Guest of the Year.
Okay, well, I guess that settles it. Then.
But yeah, I'm very surprised by that, to be honest. I didn't think I'd win. I thought I would have come third, to be honest. And I thought the person who would win I thought it would have been John. And then it would have been Jerry second. That's what I thought would have happened. Incredibly surprised by that, especially winning half of the overall votes.
I had to guess what killed my chances is probably accidentally saying what was Labour's was up before it came up on the live stream.
Oh, I don't think anyone's got like long enough
memories
memories to hold grudges for that kind of thing.
No, that was the moment of the year. That was funny for me because like I joined the chat and I was watching BBC iPlayer live, and then you were like, 101, and I was like, okay, sweet, I can go to bed now.
Right. So I after Frank had won, I had a few words for Frank. So likewise, Tom, I wanna give a few words for you. I want to say congratulations on winning Stream Guest of the Year 2024. I was actually surprised when earlier you told me that you hadn't won a Milky for this already. I had just assumed that at some point you had, because I felt it would have been very much well deserved. And sorry, I just got distracted. Someone dropped out of the chat there, but
It was Jerry.
That was Jerry. I think it was probably accident.
But I just want to say, I think it's very well deserved. Whenever you come on one of these streams with me, it feels like I've got a co-host of sorts. You know, I always know that you're very reliable. Whatever it is that we're going to end up talking about, you've got opinions. We can have the flow of conversation going. We can have some fun. I think very much deserved. So congratulations. Well done.
And in many ways, Tom reminds me of the sort of quote I think that Thatcher once described Clement Attlee. He's more substance than style.
I guess in some ways that is true, yes. Yeah, I mean, thank you very much, really. I don't really know what to say. I'm just really, really surprised at the result. I never thought I would have gotten even close to 50%, let alone win it. Which is just very impressive. I guess that people really do like to hear what I have to say about certain things and certain topics.
Well, you are probably arguably the most informative when it comes to politics on our group chat, I'd say.
I wouldn't say so. I would say that Leo and Ewan are much more informed than I am.
Okay.
But yeah, all I can say is thank you very much to everybody who voted for me. And thank you for being willing to listen to what I have to say about any given topic that we talk about, whether that be UK domestic politics, whether that be what's going on in the Middle East, or whether it be what was related to my academic career for Russia, Eurasia, and East Asia. So thank you everybody for who voted for me.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And I'll also say thanks to everyone who allowed me to tie for silver at the very least. Hopefully next year I can at least get gold.
Hey, look, you're not in a bad position, because I think the likes of like you and Jerry, you guys have got a cabinet slowly filling up of different coloured milkies from different years.
Yeah,
it's going to be like Pokemon. Eventually, going to be like, right, I want to collect one of every colour.
It's like I got
silver,
bronze, silver. See silver, and if the track keeps going, I'll probably get gold next year, and then maybe platinum the year after.
All right then. Let me just read a few comments out here in the chat, and then I will wrap up for today. So Sky Echo says, "Well done, Tom." Faithless Electors, well done, Bashad. All jokes aside, crazy stuff, Tom. Well done. You are the best member of Bullet officially. Now, Frank. I did found Bullet, okay? I am Mr. Bullet. You're pulling the rug out from under my feet here, Frank. I rescind your Milky, sir. And Lee Halamads, congratulations, Tom. Well deserved. All right then, guys. So
thank you very much.
We come to the end of another year and another Milky Awards. I would like to thank all of you who have watched the channel this year, who've supported the videos, who've nominated in the Milkies, who voted in the finals. I'm getting a slight bit of feedback. Would you guys mind muting yourselves just for a second for me? Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys in the audience of this YouTube channel who have been watching it for such a long time and have joined in this year, and especially in the Milky Awards just gone as well. As you know, this is the year that I decided I wanted to take a different direction of channel for the travel for the content on this channel. It's been mainly politics focused for a number of years. I wanted to diversify that a bit. Now, as it turns out, towards the end of this year, I've ended up doing a fair bit more politics stuff anyway, because I've got back into the swing of things. But that's not necessarily guaranteed for the future. All the big ones, the general elections and all that, we'll do those.
To be fair, you had a UK and a US election this year.
Very true. Very true.
By the way,
yeah, it was one of those rare instances that we get every blue moon where we have a UK and US election on the same year. So
the last
this was
one,
a very packed year for elections.
The last official year would be 1992, though you could argue we had a big election in 2016 of sorts, but it was a referendum.
That's true. So it did pull me back in the latter half of this year, at least.
By the way, Swiss, Frank is saying, other than you, Lord Swiss.
other than me, Lord Swiss, much appreciated. Oh yes, what I was going to say to the dear viewers, that was it. As I told you in a stream the other day, I received for Christmas the world's hottest chip, which is like a single Dorito that is apparently as hot as like I think it's like a ghost chili pepper, or I forget what it was called. But anyway, it was supposed to be like 2.2 million on the Scoville heat scale. I am going to. I talked about maybe eating it at the end of this stream. I don't want to ruin my New Year's Eve by being in pain. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record a video of me eating it very soon, possibly tomorrow. And in that video, I'm going to eat the world's hottest chip, and then I'm going to attempt to give my predictions for the year ahead in 2025 as I fight through the pain before my first drink of water afterwards. That's the plan.
Don't drink water, drink milk. Water
milk. Yes, the Milky Awards milk. There we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's something for you guys to look forward to. And the last thing I will say, as if I haven't already shilled it enough in the last few days, but I have started channel memberships on this channel now. It's probably a better way for me to try and earn a bit more money from what I do here on YouTube than setting up the Patreon, which kind of involves a third-party website that people have to go elsewhere for. This is all kind of in-house, and it comes with in-house benefits. You can get a nice little badge next to your name. You get custom emojis. There may be other things that I introduce at some point, but for now it's shout-outs. So shout-outs to Lee Hallam and Dillhouse, who've both become channel members. And if you guys want an additional way to support the channel other than your fine viewership in the audience, then if you're willing to part with $1.99 a month, that would be very much appreciated. But anyway, that is it for the time being. Folks, I hope you've all had a good Christmas. I hope you enjoy yourselves tonight for New Year's, and I hope that whatever we have ahead in 2025 has surely got to be better than what we've had so far, he says.
Yeah, let's see. I would hopefully join you for any politics streams you might do, possibly locals, depending if that is still going on or not, because of changes the government plan to do. And if you're ever interested in doing any movie or TV show reviews, I'll probably be open to do it as well.
Thank you. If I end up doing anything on Doctor Who, Marvel, anything like that, then I'll give you a shout, because definitely want to get you on that. All right then, that's it. I'm done. I'm ending the stream. We're off.
Yep.
Goodbye, everyone. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Before you do, I just want to say to the viewers and to anybody else watching this, thank you once again for voting for me as what was it again?
What was it? What's this thing I've just won?
Name of it, stream guest. That's it.
On this internet award show, what was the prize again?
No, I'm just confused. But yeah, anyway, stream guest of the year. Sorry. Thank you for giving me stream guest of the year, and I hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you had a good year, and if you didn't, then I hope that next year is better for you. And Happy New Year, and let's hope that 2025 is a good year for us.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. We love it. Congratulations again to Frank as well, and to all the rest of you who made it through to the finals. Thank you for watching this year. See you again next year. Ta-ta.